beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.
Man, another day.
Man.
Another day to go get it.
Yes, sir.
We got to get our energy up some kind of way. And then he just say, yeah.
Listen, man, I'm chilling.
Me keep back feeding or just feedback. Oh,
Yeah.
there it is. Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
Man, here we go. Shit. Welcome to the Streets A&R Podcast. I'm your host, Giddy Jicky with it.
It's your other host, Johnny No Good.
And we are silly. I don't know why. But we feeling good today.
Yes, sir.
It's a beautiful day outside.
Man.
Where we at least. I hope it's beautiful for y'all. But we ready to get to it, man. It's good to be in existence and in living life, bro. Being outside, back outside, seeing what the people doing, how the people moving. It feel good. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Getting the people moving.
Man, that part.
Hey, I think I did my thing.
Hey, listen.
Give me some, my nigga.
Oh, listen, man. Yeah, you had it popping.
Man, definitely had the Beyonce versus Rihanna little mini battle. Part of the residency I got, man. Oh, and it was exactly how I thought. They came out.
With you know how they say, Mike Epps.
Finish it.
Oh, nah. You know that's all I gotta say. I ain't gonna say nothing like that. I ain't disrespecting nobody.
Oh,
you ain't about to get me canceled.
This is why we can't get the subscribers up. Nah. I almost did it. But nah, man, they definitely showed up. The ladies was out in abundance and being abundant all night, man. Singing, dancing. Just pure out joy, man. You called it. You was like, you ain't seen that in a long time, bro. Just joyous being out somewhere. And shout out to Beyonce and Rihanna for making the music to get them to be able to do that.
Man,
Like,
I ain't gonna cap though. That versus wasn't even equal. It wasn't even equal. Like that versus was not equal when it came to crowd response.
Nah.
Beyonce had one song that got everybody up and going. Outside of that,
that could have been my fault for the order. It could have been my fault. But I'll say this. So this is my idea, and we're going to really get into the meat of what we got to talk about. Beyonce and Rihanna on the male side is like having Kendrick versus Drake. They both got hits, but one artist got the mega super hits, and that's Rihanna, just like Drake. Mega super hits. The other one is the one that has, I think, the more of the cult following. With the Bayhive, Beyonce. So you can ring off her album cuts more and they'll respond to them. Just like on Kendrick, you can ring off the album cuts and they'll respond to them. I think that is just a pure, there's a different, one is a very successful commercial, super commercial, and still got dope music. And the other one has that spoke to the people and they riding with you to death. So that's why you get the two reactions. But it was funny because I don't know if you, at the end, the last song.
that last one was Beyonce. That's what I said.
And
They went crazy.
Crazy.
They were singing that with their heart and soul. I seen the one homegirl.
Yeah. Listen,
Man.
you're the one I love. I had to give it something for the fellas real quick. Like, hey, man, they still love us, dog. They still got love in their heart, at least. So shout out to the ladies that show up, man. I am going to issue a competition to the DJs. I swear to God, I think I got the best looking crowd in the city.
Man.
Period.
Man.
I put that on gang.
Yeah.
Gang them.
Listen, man, our events, I ain't gonna cap. Our events be getting them out. People be responding to the pictures. And I mean, you know, shout out to the people.
Yeah. And shout out to our photographers, everybody that captured the moment. Videographers, everybody, man. So we appreciate it. But you know, that's the stuff that happened in real life. But we got a whole nother issue coming up with, it's funny because I just had a seminar literally this weekend on the intersections and the advancements of technology and how they affect healthcare. But this isn't something that's going to permeate every industry. So tech is transforming. We're finally in another transformative section of technology. Like we've kind of been at a standstill. We've been getting the same phones, TVs, all that. We done been there, but now we're in a different transition, a transition period, almost like the beginning of when the internet and stuff hit. Now we got to deal with well, they're calling it artificial intelligence, the AI, right? And what most people don't understand, that AI, artificial intelligence, is simply just a gathering of all intelligence on particular points, centralizing it and using that to make suggestions, really. And now that goes in different ways. So when you talk about consumer markets and all that, but in the music industry, it's going to have a particular role. And it might have already had a particular role and we ain't know about it. We're keeping it a bean. And right now they're going through a lot of the issues of, what the AI is being used right now. It's in its baby infant stages. So they're using it to produce music right now, right? There's people are popping up with AI generated songs, and they're popping up with AI generated voices, right? So there's like songs with like Kanye that ain't Kanye, but it's Kanye voice on the track, rapping how he would, do his thing. Drake got one, and it's funny. And this conversation goes so many ways, but I ain't heard him. I think Young Guy heard him, and he said they slapping. Which one slapping, Young Guy?
I like the Kanye, Hey There Delilah, and the new Drake one with The Weeknd that dropped.
Drake got a random feature with The Weeknd. Before I go into that part of the conversation, I want to talk about what does this actually mean for the producers. So if now it is AI can generate a sound, and a lot of producers, so from my understanding, you can almost go and type in a prototype and it'll generate a beat or a sound that's of that archetype. So my first question is kind of, what is this going to mean for producers in general? And you ain't got to answer that question directly, but you can just comment.
I'm just thinking, like, period, when it comes to what does it mean? I think it means, like you said, it's across all industries. I think that there's going to be a separation between people who can actually afford to have humans working on the projects that they're working on and people who can't. And I think that that's what we're going to move towards. There's a lot of AI that's copying styles of different artists and creatives. I think it's going to be a separation because it already is a luxury separation on if you have handcrafted things. So I think people who are able to work with their hands will be put into a subset of the very top elite, and it'll be a status symbol to even say that you have real people work on your projects. That's what I think it means.
So it's not, so to your point, that means it might not even be a negative to the humans if the humans have mastered their craft.
To a degree.
To a degree, for those who have in that upper echelon. So somebody I'm thinking about, right? I'll say, I'm going to use two examples, like Kaytranada. Kaytranada has a sound, right? If I can tell you, when there's a Kaytranada beat, I can tell you off rip. If I can tell you that, AI can tell you that. So I know there's going to be AI generated beats. They're going to be like the archetype of Kaytranada that may hit, maybe off, maybe miss some elements, but they're going to be able to hit his sound to a degree, right? It doesn't, now that can go one of two ways. He can get mad and be like, oh, it's copying my style, I ain't gonna really do this. Or you're gonna be like, no, I need really Kaytranada, and actually pushes him to a higher level. Be like, no, I actually got Kaytranada on my beat, not some AI generated shit, which is gonna be beneficial for him, right? So it could, for the masters of that, it could put him up. The flip side to that, I think of people like Hit Boy, who literally does, which he made his song. I can do any beat everywhere, and I got him everywhere. I don't have a sound. AI would have if you tried to like give me a Hit Boy type beat, it won't be able to pick up a particular archetype for that. So which makes Hit Boy even now a hot commodity. Like, cause he can do whatever he wants. He can make whatever style of beat you want, he can make. I think he got country record, he got all kind of records, right? So for people like him, now on a different way, it pushes him to the top, the cream of the crop. And I think that's something we always forget, that the cream of the crop will rise. But it does not mean now for that mid-tier and under and people trying to get it, it may destroy everything they got, their credibility to a degree.
So I think it's, like I said, it's going to be a separation between the people that's masters of their craft, that actually handcraft things, versus people, even we see it now with 3D printing, with wood cutting, wood burning. I still see certain people who go out and they chisel out wood carved things. That's a dying art, but that type of art cannot be replaced by robots. And I think that that's the one thing that we got to remember is artificial intelligence might be good at replicating offsets, but it can't replicate emotions. It can't replicate feelings. So even ChatGPT is good to have it write a paper from you from a factual standpoint, but it can't give you stuff from an emotion. That's why it's artificial intelligence. It's falsely solving the problems that's put in front of us.
Like you said, it's only good for producing I kind of like the meat, but the side dishes is still up to the humans. And that's where that's what art is. It's always that interpretation. Art is about interpretation. AI, even from what I've seen with the artwork, it don't really give you an opportunity to interpret. It's straightforward. So it looks amazing, amazing details, but I know exactly what it is. There is no interpretation. There is no mystery. There is no, it could be this way based on your lens. And that's where humans, people who are good at that, who actually do it. Now you get the artist back. I don't actually think it's terrible for artists, bro. Like to the point where I think with artists, especially let's say we're talking about music, now we're going to be put in space. If you want to hear your favorite song and it's AI generated, who's going to play it? How they going to perform that? You can't, because it wasn't done by somebody. So now when you go to shows, you might have an artist that got a whole catalog, especially if they're replicating live music, which they're talking about, they're trying to get. Now you got to go try to teach somebody to do some chords that you program versus the person who came up with it and put it in and wrote it out and did the sequencing and all that. So when it comes to live music, I think our live artists are about to eat. And I think it's just on perception, the lens of how they looking at it, bro. Like that thing can't do what you do. And it can't be in person.
And we kind of talked about that before when we talked about where concerts was heading towards. So, I mean, literally all of this stuff is going to be a separation of class. This is all classism. I think we talked about it before. Who will actually be able to afford to go to one of these Live Nation concerts and have that experience versus certain populations that they deem undesirable given access through digital links. So, like, I think that in these last few years and missing that human element and human touch, we forgot that human element is something that cannot be recreated in physical space with people. Zoom was amazing, but I don't believe what we do could be the same impact if it was strictly over the digital airwaves. It just wouldn't be.
Not at all. And similar to that, when we brought up that part about the classism in live shows, we also talked about the underbelly, the undertone of now the ground people are going to create their own versions of these things, and they're going to be able to be popping and kind of fly under the radar. So now you're going to need those smaller venues where we should talk about to house these people who want to just go to live shows. So people, I think that local market of musicians is going to start back booming, bro, because people are going to be starving for real music. Like, I can't afford to go here. I can't afford Beyonce.
And they starving for it now. Even like, right, you start talking about, no disrespect to people who just make playlists and playlist DJs, but a playlist DJ versus what you do is not the same. And the people respond accordingly. It's not the same. You cannot just leave that to chance. So there's art is going to always go and mix in with the science.
Yeah, man. There's never a replacement, dog. So, good luck to y'all. And what is really going to get interesting and what I really, really think is going to happen, we forget that producers are computer people. They're wizards. You don't think they know how to program? You don't think they're going to figure that out? So they're going to start doubling their money. Hey, I can program this to make a beat like mine and not even have a whole different alias. And then be like, but you can come to me for the real thing. Because they do, bro, the producers who've been doing this since the vinyl days, you know how much shit they know? Like actually sound and equipment and wiring. They're literally brainiacs, bro. Science brainiacs. Like they do this for real. Grandmaster Flash, DJ Quick and them gonna eat this shit up. If they want to. They can just continue to do their thing. But they gonna be like, man, I know how to. So it's interesting. Like I think we're way too early for a panic that people are in and worrying about tomorrow. Like Gary Vee say, stop worrying about tomorrow and be living in today. What can you do to how you maximize today's tech? Y'all worried about what's coming down in these. Y'all ain't made enough money here. Y'all got opportunities you missing here. And I think the musicians are gonna have a good time because there's a certain chorus. I was just listening to Time Mission, Yusef Days. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell people all the time, a drum produced record is lovely to me because there's a different texture to when the drummer is. You can tell the drummer's in the writing room and creating the music. Man, you can't. You can't copy. There's certain. I think in certain instruments you're not gonna be able to. All instruments can't copy to a degree because people have their signature. Like Terrace Martin has his signature, bro, on the sax. Like I can hear when it's one part of a song. I'm like, oh, this must be Terrace. You can't copy. I don't think they catch it. You know what I'm saying? They catching the regular beat, but they don't catch that thing. So
that's the nuance.
Just like producers got producer tags, musicians have tags too on how they let you know this is me. And you just not gonna be able to replicate that. And they, like I said, because it's not a part of the general pattern, so it's not gonna pick up on it. So it's musicians get ready to eat. I really believe if you look at it the correct way and don't get, you will have ample opportunity to make some shape.
And I think it's about what does the market value, do? Because I remember there was a big debate when certain people don't come from certain backgrounds and then they make certain music, like do we accommodate and do we support those people? And then I guess the question is now for people who call themselves music enthusiasts, do you support the artificial intelligence music that's being created if that's taken away from the musicians that you say you support?
This is true. It always boils down to that moral question of what you support and what you don't. Me, I'm a live person. I like shows, so I always support the artist. Well, shit, we were just at an art show and I bought some art from the artist. Now, I know that somebody can digitally create some stuff similar, but it's missing the texture of, I want to put this here with this here, and there's a reason for it. And you can feel the reason. You can actually understand the artist through their artwork, and you can't replace that. So, me, like, hopefully soon enough, I'm gonna have this shit full of like real art. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep them now. I'm shifting, so I'm getting into refined boots and I'm going refined in here, man. Get some artwork and stuff that, whether it's worth money or not to y'all is irrelevant. It was worth me supporting the homies because it was dope shit. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not too worried about AI, bro. I am interested, however, if Young God does programming and he makes an AI beat with Kanye West and Kendrick on it, who gets that money? Who gets the publishing? And I think that's going to be the fight. That's going to be the music fight of how does that, because almost to a degree, the artists, again, they needed a union. They don't have a union. And you don't have a union because they need an NIL deal. Name, image, and likeness deal for artists. The same way that college athletes got. They need that now. Now they need that.
That was the biggest concern for me with that. What was that PicArt stuff that everybody was doing to get the AI generated? So that was the concern for me, was that you gave them the ability to create name, image, and likeness in your image digitally. That was a part of so those are the things that I'm concerned about. And even with that one artist whose name, image, and likeness was used to create that AI robot. And then he ended up coming out against it because he wasn't in control of the music and got cut out. So it's something that we got to be very mindful of. It's something that I would want to read, like what's some of the latest things that's coming out. I know brother Dave Bogans, it's like a couple of them type of people. I know that they already working on this type of stuff. So I want to know what already exists out there.
Yeah, I'm gonna be excited to read up on the new laws that are going to be introduced to help with the copyright and the name, image, and likeness, and how that's going to portray, because how that's going to lay out for each artist. Like, how do you say this is my name, image, and we can understand name. But the image and likeness is going to be a lot of gray area. But minus the voice, of course, if you just taking their voice and that's going to be the simple ones. But some they're going to be able to tweak and say, no, not really. You know, especially when you get to artists like Ghostface Killah and Action Bronson, who already sound the same. So it's like, all right, this gonna be a fight. But I hope they entered the fight, because this is gonna determine in which direct how far they go with this shit. It's gonna determine, because if a label can now do you, get the money and cut you out, we fuck.
I mean, yeah, especially when we know a lot of labels give people deals to shelf them anyway. So what's stopping a label from giving you a deal to shelf you and create an AI version of you to do the mute? Like, so
like literally having you put out project just so they can get your likeness, just to then produce you and do some other stuff with it and call it somebody. Like, it can get real nasty.
Yeah, and I think that's where, you know, artists gotta always think about self-preservation first. I know a lot of artists, musician people, it's called music business for a reason. They want to focus on the music. Make sure you focus on that business part aspect too.
Yes, sir, man. I'm excited to see it. For all my people on the ground, keep on, get back on them instruments. It's finna be up for you. That's finna be up, man. Shit, we gonna get up out of here on that one. That was a dope. You know what I'm saying? We real, so y'all can find me at man. But yeah, make sure y'all follow the podcast. We gonna try to stay up to date on this, and we'll definitely, if we find some interesting stuff, get an update and maybe get a guest in here to talk a little bit more in depth about this. But yeah, man, we finna get up out of here. Follow us, Streets A&R. That's Streets ANDR. They had to be remembered. But we on all platforms. We on everything but Apple. Follow, like, subscribe, share. Please listen and watch. We on everything. Make sure y'all comment, man. We definitely like to comment back and like to get feedback. Let us know what y'all think about what's going on with the AI. You with the humans or you with the robots?
Man, and if you made it to this part of the episode, man, drop a Wiggles in the comment, man. Just drop Wiggles, man.
He said Wiggles.
Wiggles, man. Just drop Wiggles.
I was going to say put the robot icon in.
Yes,
put
sir.
the human face or the robot, whoever you with, man.
Drop it in there.
Yeah, man. You know, you can find me at Getty Jicky with it, man. We got events going all day, man, all night, all week, all month, all year, man.
Yes, sir, man. Follow me at Johnny No Good. Look, I'm about to spell it out. That's JONNYKNOGOO added. I ain't did that shit in years. Yeah, man. So y'all know where I'm at, man. Follow me.
Man, we getting up out of here. It's your host Getty Jicky with it.
It's Johnny No Good.
We out.
Peace.
Peace.
The beats, the flow, the rhythm. All movement starts from the streets. Streets A&R Podcast.